So what were we discussing in the last class? We had started with web security. We started with one of the protocol for ensuring web security. That was nothing but your SSL protocol, secure socket layer protocol. Okay, so just a recap of what we have done so far. So the SSL protocol, so that basically, as we have discussed, it provides security to the data that is transmitted between your web browser and a web server. Okay, so what it basically does is, this SSL, it will encrypt the link between the web browser and the web server, and it ensures that all the data that is passed between them, it remains private and it's free from attack. Okay, so that's what your SSL basically does. Okay, so if you see your syllabus, SSL is clubbed with what is called your TLS. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. Okay, so actually TLS is the successor of SSL. Okay, and they both are protocols for establishing authentication and encryption or encrypted link between the network computers. Okay, so your SSL is the predecessor of, you can say, your TLS. Okay, so but then we generally, when we say web security, we commonly tell it as SSL/TLS. That's how we refer it to as. Okay, so though your SSL has deprecated and other things, still when we say your web security, we always refer it as SSL and TLS. Okay, fine. So, and another thing is, have you ever checked a website? Let's say I type here Google. Okay, so I type here Google. So you can see here, it's, what is it written? It's written here HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Okay, so this is basically a website that implements your SSL or TLS. Is it visible to everybody? Are you all seeing it? Yes or no? Are you listening? Are you able to hear it? Can
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Even to tell one, yes, it is so difficult. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to tell you. Okay, so a website, any website that implements your secure socket layer or your transport layer security, it will have this HTTPS, okay, in its URL. This is what is called your URL, Uniform Resource Locator, instead of just your HTTP. Okay, so if it is HTTPS, that means that that particular website will be implementing your SSL or TLS. Okay, so this SSL can be implemented only by those websites that have what is called a SSL certificate, SSL certificate, or it is also called a TLS certificate. Okay, so we'll be discussing about that in the next coming topics. Okay, so for the time being, I'll just tell you, this SSL certificate or your TLS certificate, it's something like an ID card. So that proves someone, okay, sorry, that proves someone is, that you are, this SSL is stored and displayed on the web or on the application's server. Okay, so it's trustworthy. It is secure socket layer certified. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to tell you. It's like an ID card. Okay, so this SSL certificate will be stored and it will be displayed on the website or on the application server. So that means this is secured by your SSL, secure socket layer or transport layer. Okay, fine. So now let's come back to our, so this I just wanted to share with you regarding your SSL. So now coming back to the architecture, or you can see the SSL protocol stack. Okay, so what are the topics we have discussed so far? Though I just showed you this architecture, we never discussed the various protocols which became which are a part of this architecture. We just discussed the various concepts, two basic concepts associated with your SSL called session state and connection state. Then we also discussed what the various session state parameters are, and then we also looked into what the various connection state parameters are. Okay, so now we'll look into the architecture. Okay, so you can see here the two services for SSL connections that is being provided by what is called your SSL record protocol. Okay, so first we start with what is called your SSL record protocol. Okay, so SSL is not a single layered protocol, it's a two-layered protocol. It is on top of your TCP. It is, what you have is your SSL record protocol, handshake protocol, change cipher specification protocol, alert and alert protocol. So this is what constitutes your SSL protocol stack. Okay, so the two main services that are being provided by your SSL protocol is, one is confidentiality, and second one is message integrity. Okay, so confidentiality means, yeah, both these. Your handshake protocol defines confidentiality and message integrity. Okay, so for confidentiality, the handshake protocol will define a shared secret key. Okay, so that is basically used for your conventional encryption of your SSL payload. Okay, whereas for message integrity, the handshake protocol will define a shared secret key that is basically forming what is called your authentication code, message authentication code. Okay, so in short, your handshake protocol, this handshake protocol defines both the shared secret key that is being used for conventional encryption, that is to ensure confidentiality, as well as the shared secret key to form your message authentication code for ensuring your message integrity. Okay, so these are the two services that are being provided. Okay, so now let's look into this in detail. Okay, let's look into the operation of your SSL record protocol. Okay, the overall operation of your SSL record protocol. Fine. So in short, I think I had shown you this diagram, but I didn't explain it to you what exactly this is. Okay, so the record protocol, you can see it will take the application data that has to be transmitted. It will fragment the data into blocks. You can see here, the entire data is being divided into, out here in the figure, into 3 different blocks. Okay, then it will compress the data, but then compression is something which is optional. Then it will apply or add a message authentication code that is actually for ensuring message integrity. Okay, then it will encrypt, that is for confidentiality. Okay, then it will add a header. That is SSL record header, and then it will transmit the resulting unit in a TCP segment. Okay, then after that, the received data, that will be, the reverse process will happen. Encrypted data will be decrypted, verified, then compressed data will be decompressed, and then it will be reassembled, and then it will be delivered to the higher level users. So that's what basically happens, your SSL overall operation of your SSL record protocol. So I just told you it provides confidentiality and message integrity. That's what happens here. For confidentiality, you encrypt it, and then for integrity, you add MAC. Okay, so now let's look into the various steps in detail. So the first step, okay, so the same diagram, I hope at least many of you have made a note of this diagram. SSL record protocol operation diagram. It's actually very important. Application data being fragmented, optionally compressed. You add a MAC to it, encrypt it, and then prepend it with a record header, and then send it to the higher level. Okay, so to start with, the first one is what is called your fragmentation. Okay, so fragmentation. So you can see here, it's being fragmented, fragmented into 2 to the power 14 bytes, blocks, okay, blocks of 2 to the power 14 bytes or lesser than that. Okay, that's the convention being adopted by your standard being adopted by your record protocol. Okay, so each of the messages, you can say your upper layer messages, so that will be fragmented into blocks of 2 to the power 14 bytes or lesser than that. Okay, so then the second step is what is called your compression. These two steps is what I'm telling you right now. Okay, so compression. Okay, so compression is something which is being optionally applied. Okay, so then again, compression, I mean, there should not be any loss of data. It must be lossless. Okay, and it should not increase the content length, okay, by more than 1024 bytes, 10 to the 1024 bytes. Okay, so in SSL version 3, previous class I had told about multiple versions of SSL, out which the most popular version is version 3. Okay, so in SSL version 3, same way in the current version of your TLS, okay, so no compression algorithm is specified. So the default compression algorithm is null. Okay, so that's regarding your compression. Compression is the second step. Second step, first one is you fragment it into blocks of 2 to the power 14 bytes, and then you compress it. Compression which is optional, but then it should be lossless. Okay, so the next one. So third step is for ensuring message integrity. Okay, so that is, the third step is to compute what is called a message authentication code. Okay, so over the compressed data, we are adding, you're computing a message authentication code. Okay, so I mean, a shared secret key is being used for that purpose. So this is actually for ensuring your message integrity. Okay, so this is actually the calculation, how they calculate the MAC. The MAC calculation formula, you can say the calculation is being mentioned here. So this is what is the concatenation. So you can see the MAC write secret. It's concatenated with certain padding bits. Certain padding bits are there, pad 2 and pad 1. You can see here, padding bits. Okay, so this is actually, it depends, I mean, it varies for the algorithms, different types of algorithms. The number of bits to be padded varies. Okay, so if it is, you can see here, pad 1. So it will be repeated 48 times if it is MD5, message digest 5 algorithm, and 40 times if it is SHA-1 algorithm. Okay, so that it varies from algorithm to, the number of bits to be padded varies from algorithm to algorithm. Same way, the number of bits to be padded, pad 2. So that, yeah, it is 48 times for MD5. What bits are getting padded? Okay, so you can see here this one. So out here, this, in case of pad 2. Hmm, 48 times for MD5 and 40 times for SHA-1. Okay, sequence number, the sequence number for that particular message. Then SSL compressed type. So that is what higher level protocol is used to process that particular segment. Then the length and the fragment, SSL compressed fragment. So that is in case compression is being used. In case it is not compressed, then the plain text fragment. Okay, so that these are the various parameters, and this is the calculation for it. Okay, so this is concatenation. Okay, right. So that is a third step. Third step is computing the message authentication code. Okay, so now coming to the fourth step. Fourth step is confidentiality, ensuring confidentiality by encryption. Okay, so the compressed message, so now the compressed message plus the MAC, that's the stage where we are right now in. So they both are encrypted using what is called your symmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption. I hope you remember symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Okay, so then it can be either in a stream cipher mode, or it could be as a block encryption, that is stream encryption or a block encryption. Stream encryption is bit by bit basis, block is as a block cipher. Okay, so in case it is a stream based encryption, if it is a stream encryption, okay, so in which case the compressed message plus the MAC will be encrypted. Okay, so the MAC will be computed before the encryption takes place, and that MAC is then encrypted along with the plain text or compressed text. So that's what happens in a stream encryption. Okay, so the popular, in case it is a stream encryption, so the algorithms that are being popularly used is RC440. 40 is key size is 40. That's what it is mentioned, 40. Or RC4 128 means 128 is a key size which is being used. Okay, then in case if it is a block encryption, okay, in case it is a block encryption, the padding may be added. So the padding bits may be added after the message authentication code prior to the encryption. Okay, so the algorithms, in case it is a block encryption, the techniques which are being used is, these are the popular algorithms which are being used, popular techniques. Okay, so out here you can see something called Fortessa. So this is actually a very popular encryption scheme which is being used in smart card encryption scheme. Okay, smart card encryption scheme. So when I take attendance, I want somebody to find out about this Fortessa, what this is. Okay, so these are things which comes popularly in your network security textbook, be it a data encryption standard algorithm or RC or IDEA or whatever. Okay, they are all standard algorithms which comes as a part of your textbook, but then Fortessa is actually a very practically being used encryption scheme, a block cipher encryption scheme, specifically being used for smart card encryptions and other things. Okay, so when I take attendance, I want, please make a note of it. Somebody take the initiative of providing some information regarding how this Fortessa works, or how this Fortessa's encryption works. Okay, right. So then regarding the block cipher, the total amount of padding is the smallest amount, such that the total size of the data to be encrypted is always a multiple of the cipher blocks length. Okay, so the example is being given out here. Okay, so yeah, if the plain text, it can also be a compressed text also, if it is 58 bytes, okay, with a MAC of 20 bytes. Okay, let's say we are using SHA-1 algorithm. Okay, then that's encrypted using a block length of 8 bytes. Okay, 8 bytes, because let's say it's the data encryption standard DES which is being used. Okay, so then this I mean, it will yield what is called padding dot length of byte plus 1 byte padding. So it will totally yield 79. Okay, So total yield is 79, but then it should be a multiple of cipher block's length. So yeah, to make it a total of integer of multiple of 8, one more byte, 79 plus 1. Okay, so 80. Okay, so it becomes a multiple of it. Okay, so that's how it is, the block cipher. So this is how the encryption happens. This is the fourth step. Okay, so your from the third step, whatever you have, that is your compressed message. You have your compressed message, plus your MAC, compressed message from step 2 and MAC. They both are encrypted using the symmetric encryption scheme. Okay, so you can either go for a stream cipher, stream encryption technique, or could be a block cipher, block encryption. Okay, so that's the fourth step. So now coming to the last step. Okay, so the last step in SSL record protocol processing. So that is nothing but appending a SSL record header. Okay, so actually you are more than appending, you can call it as prepending. That is at the beginning, you are prepending it with a header, and that header will have all these fields. Okay, so header will have all these fields. First one is, so these are the fields. Okay, so the first one is a content type, which is having 8 bits. Okay, then the content types, whatever is being defined is, one is change cipher specification, then alert, handshake, and application data. Okay, so the first 3, these are all, I mean, your change cipher specification and alert and handshake, they are all SSL specific protocols itself. These 3. Okay, so I mean, basically no distinction is being made between the applications, whether it is because HTTP or whatever. So these are all SSL specific protocols itself. So this is the last step, that is appending the SSL record header, prepending SSL record header, content type. So these are the popular content types what are available. And the next is the major version. The major version. Yeah. So the major version of SSL which is in use. So it is version 3. That is why value is 3. Okay. Then the minor version. The minor version in use. Value is 0. The next is compressed length. The length in bytes of the plain text fragment, or in case some compression algorithm is being used, the compressed fragment. Okay, so the maximum size is actually 2 to the power 14 plus 248. Okay, so this is regarding your appending the SSL record header along with their parameters. So these are the various parameters. So that is basically the working of your SSL record protocol. Okay, so SSL record protocol. So we are discussing about this, the one which is shown in blue highlighted color. SSL protocol stack is the major topic under which we have started discussing about SSL record protocol. So we discussed about the overall working of the SSL record protocol. Okay, so the overall working is being shown here in this particular figure, where the application data is being fragmented, compressed optionally, a MAC is being added for integrity, then it's encrypted for confidentiality, then finally you append an SSL record header to it, okay, before passing on to the higher level applications. Okay, so you first fragment it as blocks of 2 to the power 14 bytes or less, then you compress it optionally, then you add a MAC to it. So the shared secret key is being used. The MAC computation formula is being used here. Okay, so this is the formula which is being used. Okay, so the next is encryption, symmetric encryption scheme, either a stream cipher mode of operation, or it could be a block cipher mode of operation. Okay, so in that you have this Forteza technique, so which I want somebody to find out when I'm taking the attendance. Okay, then finally appending it with the record header. Okay, so next we need to discuss about the next protocol in the SSL protocol stack. So before that, let me take the attendance. So who will find out about this Forteza technique? I cannot scream too much. I am having a bad sore throat. Who will volunteer? You have Google in front of you. All you have to find out is some information regarding this Forteza. Who can do that? Somebody to volunteer rather than me pinpointing out and telling you do this and you do that. All are sleeping in the class. Who can do it? Nobody to do. Megha Sinha, there in class listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you find out? Are you feeling sleepy?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then find out about this Forteza technique. Did you see this? The one which I have highlighted here on the slide.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So please find out about what this technique is. It's basically being used in smart card encryption schemes. Okay, so some piece of information which you can share it with the class. If you're finding some site, even you can share the screen also, or get some information and share it. Right? Fine. Let me take the attendance. Can one more person get some information? Let's see when two people find the information. Maybe some more points might come up. Who else can join with the Megha? Some Megha is, I think, from B section. Somebody from A section? Who can do this from A section? Is Ryan there? Ryan? When I call out a name, nobody would be there. Who else is there from A section?
Ma'am, I have sent a link in the chat box. It has information about Forteza.
Okay. Good, Amrita. Right. Also, after that, we'll just browse through it. Good. Let me take the attendance. Okay. So, Amrita and Megha will share us the information. Right. Okay. Answer your attendance. Ayushi?
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Rison? Okay. Sarthak?
Present, ma'am.
Tanay Matthew?
Present, ma'am.
Rishon? 31.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Anshuman?
Present, ma'am.
Rajneesh Yadav?
Present, ma'am.
Vedika?
Present, ma'am.
Manthan?
Present, ma'am.
Aman Vora? Aman? 47. Not there. Okay. Shaktiya?
Present, ma'am.
Ishaq Nair?
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah, who's this?
47 present, ma'am. Sorry, I had to join again because of network issues.
Fine, no issues.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm 12 present, ma'am. I'm traveling right now, ma'am. So I'm getting network issues here, ma'am, while traveling.
Who's this? 12. 12 is
12,
from which
yes,
section? A section.
What, ma'am?
Which section? I'm taking B section right now. 12 is from which
Okay, ma'am. I
section?
thought my attendance got missed.
Oh, is it? It's Ryan, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Ryan.
In fact, I was calling out for you to find out something and share with the class. No wonder you are not responding. Fine. Okay, Ryan, noted. Malavika?
Able to hear anything properly, ma'am, because I'm traveling right now.
Ma'am?
Okay. Yeah. Malavika is there in class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Megha Sinha? Okay, yes, she's there in class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Nikita
Ma'am,
Das?
61 attendance.
61, yes, Amrita, I gave you because you are the person who shared just now some link in the class, no? So I'll not mark you
Yes,
absent.
ma'am. Thank you.
That's why I didn't specifically call out your name. Megha Sinha, yes. Nikita Das?
Present, ma'am.
Sai Gopal?
Present, ma'am.
Shreya Pradeep?
Present, ma'am.
Gayatri?
Present, ma'am.
Akash Deep?
Present, ma'am.
9.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, noted. Ila?
Present, ma'am.
Sarangaraja?
Ma'am.
Jitendra Saini?
Present, ma'am.
Rajagopalan?
Present, ma'am.
Binoy?
Present, ma'am.
Vimal Kumar? Where is our enthusiastic Nimal? Nimal is sleeping. I can see 52 here connected. Okay, Nimal, no response. Let me mark him as absent. Karthikeyan B.
Present, ma'am.
Ashwini.
Present, ma'am.
Arjun.
140 present.
Yeah. Akash Kumar Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Venkat.
Chat box, ma'am.
Noted. Mitra Lakshmi.
Present, ma'am.
Aparna. Okay, noted. Akansha Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Mehika. 233. Absent. Vignesh.
Present, ma'am.
Swastik Johari. Okay, noted. Jagadeep.
Present, ma'am.
Karthikeyan. Why this second cycle test also you didn't write? First cycle test also you didn't write. I asked you whether you want retest. No response, no reasons, nothing. What are you planning to do, Karthikeyan?
Ma'am, I had fever, ma'am.
You had fever. First cycle test also fever. Second also fever, huh?
No, ma'am. First cycle test I missed, ma'am, but this time I had fever.
Yeah, first cycle test you missed. Second cycle test you missed due to fever. So now what will be the repercussion? How will I put some marks? You need internals, right? Will you be writing the retest?
Ma'am, I'll write, ma'am.
Simply if you tell you will write, I cannot give you test. You should mail me with the reason. That I should forward it to the cycle test coordinator. Only then they will give you the retest. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You email the reason telling why you are not able to answer the test. So then that I'll forward and give you a retest. Ensure that you write the retest. Otherwise, I'll not be able to give you internals.
Yes, ma'am.
267, Abdul Ahad.
Yes, ma'am. Present.
Okay. Jashwant has texted here. Okay, Jashwant. Now coming to A section, Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
Ryan has given. Okay. Dipanshu Kumar.
Present, ma'am.
Vishal.
Present, ma'am.
Nitish Venkatesh.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Shruti Kaushik.
Yes, ma'am.
Darshini. Darshini is absent. Fatima.
I'm present.
Okay. Sai Satish.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Wonderfully present, Santosh. You are never present in class. Jeevesh, 133.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Okay, noted. Nityashri. No response. Oh, present. Okay. Anybody who missed the attendance because I could see 52, 53 being connected, not now, prior to attendance, and many absentees in class. Mihika,
Ma'am, 103 present, ma'am.
103. 103. 103 is the which? Okay, A section. Darshini. Fine, Darshini. Noted. Anybody else? This 233 and all, Mihika. 109, Nimal Kumar. They're all absent. Okay. Okay. So let's see what Megha has found out about it. Megha, what did
Yes,
you find out about? After that, we'll see what Amrita has shared in the link. We'll see what it is. If you want to share something, you can share the screen and present it to the class
Ma'am,
also.
I'll just read. Is it
Read
fine?
it out. Okay, fine, Megha. Let's see. You please listen. It's not, don't think that everything from the examination point of view. So Fortessa is actually a very popular encryption technique, which is of great practical importance. So it's an extra piece of information as far as the subject is concerned. Yeah, please share it.
Yes, ma'am. So Forteza is an information security system. It uses a crypto card that is a PC card based security token, and each individual who is authorized to see the protected information is issued with a Forteza card that stores the private keys and other data needed to gain the access for seeing the protected information. And it contains an NSA approved security microprocessor that is known as Capstone, and that implements the Skypejack encryption algorithm. Using that, it has been made. And the original Forteza card is a Type 2 product. That means Type 2 product are the products which cannot be used for classified information. And the latest version is KOV14, or we can say it as Forteza Plus. And the Forteza Plus card, and this is the latest version, and it is being used in government, military, and defense messaging system, banking application to protect the sensitive data. That's all, ma'am.
Yeah, very good, right. So we got some information. Now let's see what our yeah. Are you able to see? Oh, I think my screen is not shared, right? Thanks, Megha, for finding information and sharing with the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Where is that? Yeah, see, Fortessa is a security technology designed to enforce data integrity, originator authentication, non-repudiation, and confidentiality. Let's see how it personalizes security through cryptographic devices. Yeah, what she just shared. Fortessa crypto card. I can just read through it. Asymmetric cryptography, public key cryptography. Please read through it. Okay, thank you, Amrita, for sharing. I hope you people are reading. I'm having a sore throat. I cannot keep on reading. So please read through it. I'll give you 2 minutes. People are reading, going through, flipping through the lines. done with, then we can move on to the next protocol. Shall we move on? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So where did we stop? We discussed about record protocol. Record protocol we discussed. So next we move on to these protocols. Before we move on to this handshake, let's look into what this change cipher specification protocol and alert protocol is all about. You can see here, this is actually the most simplest protocol in the stack, the change cipher specification protocol, the simplest protocol. It consists of a single message. You can see here. It's, you can say, a single byte with value 1. Single byte with value 1. Okay, so the purpose of it, purpose of this change cipher specification protocol is to cause the pending state to be copied into the current state. Okay, so which updates the cipher suite to be used on this particular connection. Okay, then the next is the alert protocol. Alert protocol is a little more bigger. So you can see here, this is basically used to convey SSL related alerts. Different types of alerts are there, alerts, warnings. Okay, so this alert messages are also compressed and encrypted. So, okay, so this generally consists of 2 bytes. You can see here 2 bytes. 1 byte is level and second byte is alert. This is the alert protocol, whereas this change cipher specification protocol is just 1 byte. Okay, so this is 2 bytes. The first one is it's a warning. Okay, so yeah, it can either take the value 1 or 2. Okay, so it'll it's either warning or it can be fatal. Fatal means a little more dangerous. Okay, so to convey the seriousness or severity of the message. Okay, warning means it's just a warning. Okay, fatal means some immediate attention. It requires immediate attention. Okay, so to convey the severity of the message. Okay, so in case the level equal to fatal, if it is equal to fatal, then SSL will immediately terminate the connection. Okay, so okay, it will terminate the connection. Okay, so other connections on the session will continue, but then no new connections on this session may be initiated or established. Okay, so that's what the level is all about. Okay, the second byte, this is what is called alert. Okay, so alert, it will indicate some specific alert. There are different types of alerts are there. Okay, a code that indicates a specific alert. Okay, so I'll show you the different types of alerts. So first one is this. So this, I mean, these are all fatal alerts. Okay, so which needs immediate attention. Okay, yeah. This is the first one is unexpected message. Second is bad record. Third one is decompression failure or handshake failure or illegal parameter. Okay, so these are all fatal alerts. Okay, fatal alerts which has to be severely dealt with. Okay, so fatal messages, fatal alerts. Okay, so in this case, if any of these alerts come, then SSL will immediately terminate the connection. Okay, so no new connections on this particular session. Session means it's a temporary connection. It's a temporary between a client and the server. It will be established. Okay, so all these are the fatal alerts. 5 fatal alerts. Okay. Then these are the other types of alerts. Okay, so close notify, okay, or no certificate, or a bad certificate, unsupported certificate, or certificate revoked, or it is expired or unknown. Okay, so these are all the remainder of alerts. Okay, so for example, disclose notify. It will notify the recipient that the sender will not send any more messages on this connection. Okay, so it's like a telling a bye-bye. I mean, you're notifying that you're going to close it. Okay, so no certificate may be sent in response to a certificate request if no appropriate certificate is available. Okay, or if the certificate was corrupt, then you send in a bad certificate. Okay, or the particular type of certificate is not supported, then it will be a unsupported certificate alert. Okay, or if it is being revoked by the person who has issued it or the person who has signed it. Okay, so due to some reason it has been revoked, so before its expiry date. Okay, so then you issue what is called a certificate revoked message alert, or this is in case a certificate has expired, certificate expired. Okay, then some other unspecified issues have arisen in the processing of the certificate, so rendering is unacceptable, due to which you issue an alert called certificate unknown. Okay, so these are the different types of alerts which are being issued. But then if any of these alerts are being issued, then it is always fatal. Then the connection has to be disrupted. Okay, right. That is unexpected message, an inappropriate message was received, or an incorrect message authentication code which is being received, or the decompression function received improper input, or the sender was unable to negotiate an acceptable set of security parameters given the options available. Okay, handshaking has failed, or some illegal parameter, a field in the handshake message was out of range or inconsistent with the other field. So then all these things, all these alerts are considered to be failure, in which case the SSL will immediately terminate the connection. Okay, so but in this case, all the other connections in the session will continue, but then on this particular session, no more new connections will be established. Okay, so this alert protocol is basically used to convey SSL related alerts to the peer entity. Okay, SSL related peers to the related entity. The 2 bytes. The first one is the level. It could either be a warning, or the level could be fatal. The second is the type of alert. Okay, type of alert, the code that indicates the specific alert. Okay, so it can one of these, fatal, or these are a warning type of alerts. Okay, that's regarding the alert protocol. Then we discussed about change cipher specification protocol. It just consists of a single byte with one value. Okay, so now what is the protocol which is pending to be discussed in SSL protocol stack? Venkat, what is the protocol which is pending to be discussed? Somebody who has been listening in the class? Let me ask Arjun. What protocol is pending to be discussed in SSL protocol stack? Nobody knows. So that means I was simply telling out something, nobody was listening.